So I wanted to do a kit video talking about the bike and everything that I'm using for further Lostways. All of last year I found these kit videos and rundowns extremely helpful when trying to get together my stuff for races, especially ones that I didn't know that much about. So Further Lostways is a 750k gravel and road bike route around Devon and Cornwall. The start is hidden. We know roughly where it begins near this town city of Oakhampton. We all meet in a pub, then travel up to somewhere in Dartmoor, camp the night before, set off at 6 a.m. and get away all together. That means that whatever you take for camping on Dartmoor, you need to take with you for the rest of the race. That being said, I've probably packed a little bit more than what I usually would, just to make sure that I get a really good night's sleep. I guess before we get into it, I'll talk about the bike first, before getting into what's in the bags. This kit rundown is extremely last minute. It is the day before the race, and it is due to my own lack of organisation. So unfortunately I've had a frame bag not come yet, thanks to being lost in the Royal Mail. So very last minute I've had a really good friend lend me this Toe Peak half frame bag, which has saved me. I'm really hoping that the side access bottle cage rock up, otherwise it's going to be quite hard to get my bottles, as I left my hydration vest or hydration bladder anyway in Brighton. So I may have to downgrade the bottles or think of something else. Anyway, the bike. The bike is a Pearson on and on gravel bike. I got it years ago and I've been using it for all of last year's ultra racing for the gravel races, and I'll be doing the same for this year. It's extremely battered, it's been through a lot, it's been dunked a few times, but it seems to be doing the job. One of the main things that I have changed on the bike is I've put this 1146 cassette on the back. I say I put it, I didn't put it on, my friend Gordon did. 1146 cassette on the back with a Wolftooth Roadlink adapter to allow you to fit a much bigger cassette in the GRX 2x11. This just gives me much more gearing to play with when going up some of those hills. I just got some new XTR pedals off eBay, just because I had some sort of knockoff SBD pedals and there was just a little bit of play in them, so managed to get those last week. One big change that I've gone with, which I know you're not really supposed to change something before an ultra, but I needed to, was my tyres that I had on the bike just had too many plugs in, and I have a bad history with punctures, so I was looking to change to a new front tyre. In doing so, I was talking to a couple of friends who use these Schwalbe G1 RX Pros and love them. I thought I'd give them a shot. I have taken them out for a couple of rides and they seem great. They seem to be much faster rolling resistance, or have less rolling resistance than my other tyres that I was using. I've got an Ergon SMC Core saddle, which I've been using for bike packing. What else have I got? I've got the Redshift suspension stem. I was a little bit sceptical about them at first, but I've got to say, this is forever staying on the gravel bike. It just takes the buzz out of your hands, especially on those longer rides. You just don't even notice any sort of wrist hand pain. So I really rate them, and full disclosure, they did send that to me. For this race, I at first thought it was a bit of a joke, but I imagine it's like a safety issue to do with a lot of the towns that we're passing through, but you must have a bell. I've got this little Ravemen bell to pass me through all the towns, let people know that we're coming. And as always, I always have the Coros Dura bike computer, mainly because of the battery life. On top of that, obviously, exposure lights, like most people, their battery life is just unbelievable. I think this is the Exposure Toro, and if you have it on the lower setting, you get 36 hours of battery life. And I've got that paired with a Diablo on my helmet, so having those together means you've got more than enough light to ride them both on low. And as a lot of this will be done on the road, I probably won't need to run both lights at the same time all the time. Okay, so I guess I'll move on to the bag. So on the rear, I've got an old man mountain prototype ultralight rack. I got it last year. It's been great. It's been through a lot. It's been through, I think, 4 races with me, several mountain bike races. I've dropped the bike. The bike's been put in a river a few times. Things are broken on the bike. The rack hasn't, so that's quite a good sign. And then I have the Old Man Mountain Atlas pack. This is the 9 litre pack. Okay, so I'll try and take things out of my bags without knocking my bike over. The rear pack I'm kind of using for things that hopefully I won't need that much, just because I won't need to access it that much in the race. So I've got a Galibier sort of down jacket. It's I mean, it's been great, to be fair. I got it halfway through last year. It just packs down really small. It's very nice and comfy. I tend to sort of chuck that on at night. It's pretty lightweight as well. I've got some spare gloves, some spare Gore-Wear gloves. I suffer from really bad circulation. Hands and feet get really cold quite quickly and easily. So spare pair of gloves and a pair of sealskin waterproof socks. Here I've got the Outkit Hunker XL Bivy, lightweight, big human dry bag, just keeps you warm and dry. As well as that, I've got an emergency sort of like foil bivy thing, which I would normally just use for these races, and that would be that. But because of, you know, camping on Dartmoor the night before as a group, I did want to be slightly more comfortable, so I've opted for the Outkit Hunker XL, Outkit cloud-based mat. I think it's got an R value of like 1.7. Cutting it on the edge with the camping on Dartmoor about 3 degrees, but should be fine. And then lastly, stuffed right in here, I've got this luxury quilt. I've had this for ages. It's super comfy. I used it for all my bikepacking trips. Featherstone Moondance, unbelievably nice bit of kit. I'll be running this hydration vest as well, I forgot to add, but with no water in it, hopefully. I mean, I will be running it with no water because I left my bladder in Brighton. In here is where I keep keeping the things like the tyre stabby. I've got a little bottle of wax. As well as that, I'll basically be just carrying all my food and the tracker in the back of the bag. My Lupra Gore-Tex waterproof jacket. I just want that easy to hand, because then I can chuck that on while I'm riding without stopping, hopefully, depending on what the course is like at the time. And then in here, this is the food that I've got for the first, let's say, 6 to 8 hours. Packet of 4 Squares bars, packet of wine gums, another packet of wine gums, and some Co-op triple chocolate cookies. But that's not a huge amount of food to carry, and it works out as being like 400 grams of carbs. So that's ages. Ages? That's loads. Frame bag that I last minute ordered. Didn't arrive in time, unfortunately. It's been lost in the Royal Mail, so Liam, thank you so much for letting me borrow this. So I'm borrowing his Topeak half frame bag. It's actually a bit of a squeeze with my short ass frame. And in here I've got some emergency SIS powder, I think I've got some SIS gels in here. I've got 6 of each. They'll be last minute if I need to use those to get me through the night. I also have, what's I've got in here? Just those on the floor. Gore-Wear Lupra long pants. I've been using these since November and have yet to get wet in them. I've also slept in them a couple of times. Incredibly warm, but quite breathable. I'm definitely a sweatier rider and haven't had any issues with that yet. I suppose I could put those on the floor. Just got a spare strap, just in case. And, oh yeah, tool bag. So, toolkit. In here I've got multi-tool chain breaker. Oh, I've got some wet wipes, tyre levers, electrical tape, sealant, spare inner tube, chain pliers with some pair of quick links in, spare brake pads, spare cleat, tubeless sealant, some zip ties, and then also in my hydration vest I've got some Stan's darts. I think I've got some Dyna plugs as well. Okay, so what's in the top tube bag? This is very much things that have been stuffed in, so water purification tablets. I have a bad history of getting sick from water, so I'm just taking these just in case. I've got a little thing of chamois cream, a little thing of Sudocrem. They speak for themselves. Hopefully I won't need them. I've got my Exposure Diablo Light. I've got some caffeine tablets just to sort of help me get through the night if I need it. I possibly will. Wallet, headphones, again, late at night, but if I really need it. Hopefully I won't. It'll be that period between 2 AM to 6 AM to get you through to daylight. Basic medical kit. Yeah, basic medical first aid kit. Got some rehydration stuff, some painkillers, some wound dressing. Got chargers, cables. I bring my Di2 charger. I shouldn't need it, but you never know, just in case. I also have a 10,000 milliamp power bank, just in case I need to charge everything. I should be okay with the I should be okay with the exposure lights. Like I said, the Toro will do 36 hours on low mode, and the Diablo will do 18 hours on low mode. So I hope to be done with 3 days, so 2 nights. I'll probably charge them a little bit. We're very kindly supported by Silca as part of the Old Man Mountain bikepacking team. They sent us a bunch of things like the Tatico pump, the Ultimate Inflator, and the fancy Silca waxing pot. So I have nice clean chains, easy to do, takes about 10-15 minutes even when you're cleaning it. And yeah, I've got everything else. So I think that's about it for the bike check video. If there's any questions, feel free to drop me a message. By the time I upload this, hopefully it'll be before the race, but you never know. These last minute packing things tend to go awry. I find these kit videos really helpful, especially when especially as a newer bike packer, or looking for just what other people have used on races before. And as this is the first edition of this race, I thought it interesting or helpful to put up what I'm carrying. In terms of race strategy, I haven't got one for this race. It is the first race of the year, so it's just going to be interesting to see how the body's coped over the winter. 750k for me is quite a difficult distance. With the shorter races, I know that if it's like 400k, I could ride, not sleep, and know that hopefully I'll be finished the next day, barring no incidents. 750k is a little bit longer, and there's a lot more road. And being not a very aerodynamic rider, that might slow me down a little bit. So I have no idea what to expect. So I am just going to try and ride until I'm tired, have a quick sleep, and then carry on. It looks, via the route, it looks like the second half is much more difficult. So I think if you're getting into, well, for me personally, if I'm getting into that 600 to 750k towards the end and I haven't had any sleep at all, and we're going back through Dartmoor, I might be struggling a little bit. So we'll have to see how it plays out. The entire bike with no water weighs 16 kilos, so that's pretty good. Obviously I'll chuck on another 1.5 kilos with the 750s at the moment. And for my clothing, I'm just wearing Gore-Wear stuff really, top to bottom. The weather's much nicer than I previously expected, so I think I'm going to risk wearing short bibs, going to take leg warmers obviously, long sleeve top, non-insulated, and then have like a really thin wind gilet. I always wear merino socks. My circulation sucks, so merino socks is a non-negotiable for me. I've been wearing the red-white bibs. I've had them for quite a long time. I've used them for all my long rides since about October, November, and they are fantastic. I had this horrible trial of attrition where I was trying to ride an extreme amount of kilometres on the trainer, and for that I used the red white bibs, and I had no saddle issues, so they're a given now in the races going forward, I think. And another reason to pick them, especially for this race, is because they've got 4 cargo pockets, so 2 on the sides and 2 on the back. It means you can just absolutely fill them with food if you need to. So going into the long nights, that's a good way to stock up on Haribo and chocolate and, meal deals, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, looking forward to the race. Let's see how it goes.